Kimi Antonelli became F1's youngest ever pole sitter, edging out his Mercedes teammate George Russell in qualifying for the Chinese Grand Prix. Russell, who won the sprint earlier on Saturday, appeared to have the edge, but suffered a technical issue in the final part of qualifying, limited to one rushed final lap at the end of the session. Antonelli took full advantage of getting 2 clean runs in, setting a time of 1:32.0 on his second effort to beat Russell by 2 tenths. Mercedes locked out the front row for the 3rd time in a row. The 19-year-old breaks the record set by 4-time world champ Sebastian Vettel, who claimed his first F1 pole at the age of 21 at the 2008 Italian Grand Prix when driving for Toro Rosso. It was a pretty clean session, so I'm really happy, said Kimi, who would previously claim the sprint pole in Miami last year. George had an issue in Q3, and it wouldn't have been cool for him to set 2 sets of time, so I tried to have an issue and tried to keep my focus, stay calm and deliver a good lap. Lewis Hamilton produced another encouraging display, edging out Ferrari teammate Charles Leclerc for 3rd with a little more than hundredths of a second separating the pair as they finished 3 tenths back from Kimi. Oscar Piastri beat McLaren teammate to 5th as the reigning Constructors Champion showed some improvement but still lacked in the challenge for pole. Max Verstappen's tough start to the season continued, only qualifying 8th behind Alpine's Pierre Gasly. His teammate Isaac Hadjar was 9th ahead of Haas's Ollie Beerman, but the French driver was fortunate to make it through to Q2 after Borsalete span off, triggering yellow flags that prevented several others from having a chance to knock him out. The 6 drivers out in Q1 once again Williams suffering a disappointing day, Aston Martin and newcomers Cadillac. Since Mercedes unleashed their pace at the Australian Grand Prix, Russell has appeared to have a teammate advantage over Antonelli. The Brit had comfortably out-qualified Antonelli in Australia and in the sprint in qualifying, but also went on to win both races. The pattern was set to continue on Saturday until Russell was beset by a series of issues. Having already done all that comfortably fast enough to get him through Q2, Russell reported an issue with his front wing and demanding it be changed, while also requesting for checks to the floor. When he emerged for the first run in Q3, he suddenly stopped on the track and began an agonising period stationary, able to coax the W17 back to the garage. The mechanics worked swiftly in order to get it cleared out in time, but he would only be able to set 1 chime last of all. Russell was ultimately unable to get within 2 tenths of Antonelli's best time, but the second pace he salvaged would be a far better outcome than 10th. Definitely damage limitation, he said. The front wing broke, or we were wrapping our heads around it. Then obviously we went out in Q3. The car wasn't restarting, couldn't change gear. Happily standing here because being able to get that last lap in with no tyre temp, etc. But the team did a really good job, and it could have been much worse than second, he said. And before I go, let me run you through the grid for tomorrow. Antonelli on top. Yeah, it'd been really interesting to see if Russell got a clean up in, but fair play to Antonelli, good lap, and I'm really intrigued to see how he does tomorrow. Russell, I think he'll be happy with second with all the issues he had. Hamilton in 3rd, I mean, really good for him to out-qualify Leclerc, encouraging signs for him, so he'll be happy with that. McLaren in 3rd row, I mean, it's where they are at the moment, isn't it? So yeah, a bit disappointing for them, but I think, they can still push forward. Gasly, a magnificent job from him, he'll be absolutely delighted with that, and hopefully he can convert it tomorrow. Verstappen 8th, Hadjar 9th, I mean, it's good to see Hadjar close, but I mean, Red Bull just not on the pace at the moment, aren't they? And they're going to need to answer some serious questions. Behrman in 10th, once again in the points positions, once again impressing. Hulkenberg in 11th, he'll be looking to really work from that, and hopefully he can finish a race tomorrow. Colapinto in 12th, I think it's a good job, but still a bit off Gasly, but in the mix for tomorrow. Ocon 13th, kind of a similar story as Colapinto, to be fair, a bit off his teammate. Lawson 14th, Lindblad 15th, just not really had the pace this weekend, so I think they'll be a bit disappointed with that. Borsetto away off his teammate, and then Williams, Aston Martin, I mean, it's a disaster for them, really, really struggling, isn't it? Cadillac's obviously where you expect them to be. Bottas, I think, way ahead of his teammate. And, to be fair, he did a good job out-qualifying the Aston Martin as Stroll. So I think that may be seen as progress for him. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our socials. Link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now. That would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.